Hey guys, welcome to what you're watching Open Studio here in Cape Town TV. As always, I'm your host for today's show. My name is Danny Kambwa. And yeah, we've got an amazing show for you guys today because our favorite girl is back. Yeah, she's from an amazing organization called Babesgotbytes and she does coding. All right, so to get to know more about her name is Lihle and we're going to speak to her now. So if you just tuned in, you're not too late. We just started, guys. So Lihle, first off, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me on the show.
Oh, you're welcome. So for those that's watching, that's seeing you for the first time, can you just tell us a little bit more about yourself, you know, where you came from, where you grew up?
So I grew up, I was bred in East London. So
East
I grew up
London,
in East
okay.
London, yeah. And then after matric, I went to Walter Sisulu University and then I did financial information systems. I never ever thought that I would one day do computer programming. So I did financial information systems only because I did commerce in high school, right? And then, so financial information systems is a combination of accounting and IT.
Okay.
And while I was doing that course, I was more interested on the IT side of things. I was not really interested in accounting. So while I was there, I found that these classes that I attended, the software development courses, in the varsity, they were not teaching me what I wanted to know.
Yeah.
It was more theory work, and I wanted to learn how to hack computers.
Okay.
I wanted to learn how applications were developed. I wanted to know how websites were developed, and they were not really teaching me that. It was more theory work, and I wanted to be more hands-on.
Yeah.
So I decided to drop out because it was not working for me. So and this other day, when I was browsing through the internet, I found an article about Project Codex,
Okay.
where they do a one-year training program about coding. So I got very interested in that, and then I applied, and then luckily they accepted me, and that's where I got to coding.
Wow. And I mean, for a female, or stereotypically speaking now, it's very seldom that you can find them interested in technology, in particular where you like you mentioned, you want to know how websites are made, how applications are made and stuff like that. So has anything happened in the past that influenced this path in your life, or is just something you decided based on the subjects you chose during school?
It was not based on the subjects it was something that, I don't know, it was just when I was doing that financial information course, I was introduced to coding.
Yeah.
So for me, it was very interesting. I was very curious about how these things work. So it was not really something that I grew up wanting to be, because my mother wanted me to be an accountant. You know how parents are with these traditional careers, that, oh, maybe you should be a doctor, you should be a lawyer, you should be this and that and that. And I was not really interested in that, so that's why I'm doing computer programming.
Wow, and I mean, you are enjoying it.
I'm enjoying it, I'm very enjoying it.
Because I mean, I can see when you speak about it, like there's so much love and passion about it.
Yeah.
So, and then you went on to start an organization called Babesgotbytes.
Yeah, Babesgotbytes.
So tell us about that. What inspired that?
What inspired Babesgotbytes? So I started coding last year.
Yeah.
And it seems like a year, but anyway. So I started coding last year, and while we were at Codex, so we found that there were very few females in the tech industry. I mean, we used to go to a lot of tech events, your conferences and your meetups, and when you got there, we found that there were no females. You hardly ever find a female in the tech space.
Wow.
So we ask ourselves, why? Why is that? Why there aren't many women in this industry? So we took it as our responsibility to make more females interested in computer programming. And we realized that a lot of people still have that mentality that a computer programmer is that person, that weird guy that's wearing a black hoodie with 5 computers in front of them and hacking other people. And computer programming is not like that. It's actually the fun side of computer programming. That's why we started.
And I think hackers also are used for security purposes. You know, if you can hack into a company's database, then obviously the security system is not strong enough.
That's actually one of my goals. That's why I got into coding in the first place, because I wanted to become a hacker and hack other people.
That's also thought about. You know, I had friends as well at CPUT that used to hack into the Wi-Fi. That was amazing. And always, when I saw that, I always told myself, I want to be able to do that. You know, so I can relate to what you're saying, and that's cool. So when you started the organization, you know, you spoke about the drive towards it, you know, going into these events, seeing that there are less females that's involved in the industry, and then you guys went on board and wanted to make a change. So what does the organization bring?
So Babesgotbytes, so the aim of Babesgotbytes is to introduce and empower other women to learn computer programming, and especially in the disadvantaged areas, because we find that like there are like a lot of organizations that do coding relating stuff, but then they're not focusing on the disadvantaged areas, because I feel like nobody wants to go to those disadvantaged areas. So that's why we target those disadvantaged areas, and we want more females to be interested in this
Field.
Yeah, in this field of IT.
Wow. And how long has Babesgotbytes been in operation now?
It's been like a year now. Is it a year?
Yeah. And the
yeah,
success
1
rate?
year.
1 year so far.
Yeah,
wow.
1 year so far, because we started in June last year. Yeah. Started in
So
June
you've
last
heard
year.
your first birthday cake already. And
Yeah.
So how has the community responded to this initiative?
Yeah, the community is actually they actually like what we're doing. So we started these coding lessons at the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
So last year, how we all started with these teachings. So last year, the first thing that we did, we started, we hosted an event to make more females interested in this. So we invited a lot of people to come through, and then we had speakers that were experts in this field so that they can talk about the careers that they do and what they do on a daily basis. So after that, like a lot of people came through and a lot of people were interested. So we decided that, you know, the following year, which was this year, in January, we're going to start these coding classes in our communities. So right now we are teaching at Idimkiza High School in Guguletu.
Yeah.
And we have classes every Saturday from 9 till 12 o'clock.
Yeah.
And the learners love it.
Wow, I can imagine.
Yeah.
I can imagine. So is that the only school you're working with so far?
We actually went to this other school 2 weeks ago at Lihle High School. It's in Samora Marshall.
I know that,
yeah, it's in Samora Marshall, and we went there to do coding workshops, an introduction to coding, and the learners were very mind-blown.
No,
like
I can imagine.
Yeah.
So we're just going to take a short break. Lihle, I can see how much you're enjoying speaking about this, guys. And for those that's watching at home, one year of excellence, guys. So when we come back, we're going to continue our conversation with Lihle, so do not go anywhere. See you after this. Guys, welcome back. If you just tuned in, you're not too late. You're watching Open Studio on Cape Town TV. So if you're with us since the beginning of the show, you will know that we just spoke about coding. All right, we spoke about how the organization Babesgotbytes came about, and also how Lihle got herself involved and came up with the idea to start Babesgotbytes. All right, so just to continue our conversation, we spoke a little bit about the background, about the organization's background. Now we're speaking about the schools in which they are involved in. So if the school is near to you guys, then this show is just for you. So do stay tuned and focus. All right. So Lihle, just to continue our conversation, you spoke about the schools that you guys are currently busy with.
Yeah.
Just to recap for those that just tuned in or just got home now from maybe a night shift job. So can you just tell us what are these schools that you're dealing with?
The first school is Idimkiza High School.
Yeah.
It's in Guguletu. And the other one is Sophumelele High School, which is in Samora Marshall. So at Idimkiza High School, we have classes every Saturday from 9 till 12 o'clock. And then at Sophumelele High School, we did a few workshops 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And the teachers over there, they want us to come during the week.
Oh, wow.
So we have volunteers that will be going there every once in a while.
Okay, so are the volunteers also qualified to do
they're qualified.
Wow, so when we speak about coding and we look at the environment in which we are working with, like, the informal settlement, obviously that is also one of the field that people don't really tap into, because firstly it's expensive to study and so forth. So just in a nutshell, for those that do not know what is coding, can you just tell us, in your opinion, what is coding?
I always say that computer programming is problem solving problems. Imagine you have this idea that you want to create, and you don't know how you're going to create that idea. And creating an application or a website that can actually solve that problem. Yeah. So coding is problem solving.
Problem solving.
But coding is telling a computer what to do. Like a computer does not know. A computer cannot do anything without human interaction. Imagine you standing there with your computer on, like a computer, it cannot do anything without you having to. You have to tell it to do this, to do that, to do. So that's what computer programming is. It's telling a computer what to do. It's a set of instructions telling a computer what to do.
Wow, that's a nice way to put it. Yeah.
And how we tell these computers what to do, we use computer programming languages. So as we are speaking right now, right? We're speaking English. We understand each other, and that's the same with computers. They have their own language that they understand. We have Python, we have JavaScript, we have Ruby. So those are computer languages that a computer understands. So that's coding.
Wow. And when you mentioned JavaScript, that was one of the olden language that we got to learn as well when we were in school, and it came with the Microsoft XP, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. Then you see that application was on there. So within your organization, how do you go about teaching, or what does your programs entail for the children within the schools?
Our main focus is web development.
Yeah.
And the reason why we focus on web development is because we also did web development at school. So that's what we expertise in. So that's why we focus on web development. So web development containing HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So that's what we focus on. But we do plan on going beyond that, like bring in more advanced stuff, like your data science and your machine learning and those other stuff. Yeah.
Speaking about bringing in big stuff like machineries and stuff, what is the challenge that you guys are facing right now in with regards to furthering this initiative for the less privileged?
The challenges that we're facing is that we do not have a space, first of all. So we use the computer's resources for everything, and the school does not have proper internet, and the computers are not really proper computers. So you have this problem whereby when you save work on that computer, it disappears after 24 hours.
Oh, I see.
So you lose completely everything, like the work that you've done, you lose everything. But then we had this campaign where we were asking people to donate flash drives so that we can be able to save the stuff in the flash drive. So that's another problem that we're facing, and that we're a small organization, like we just started, and we don't have enough money to do all these things. So we do have people that want to volunteer, but then they don't have transport to go to the organization, to the schools, because they do not have money, and we also don't have money to actually give them to transport. So that's one of the challenges that we're facing in the organization.
That challenge you mentioned, actually, I can also relate to. When I was in school, I remember, you go into the computer lab, you've done your research, you saved your stuff on Microsoft, on the computer. You come back the next day and it's just gone. That was the most horrible experience and horrible feeling.
Start over.
Yeah, so you're telling me that system is not in place at some schools?
Yeah, it is still in place in some schools.
That's bad.
Yeah, and the internet is very slow. Like you can't even download stuff on that. Yeah.
Wow. Well, I don't know if you've heard about the WCG schools Wi-Fi that the schools has put in place, or the government has put in place at certain schools.
That's the Wi-Fi they're using, and it's
very slow.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's terrible.
Because I remember they spoke about this, where they wanted to help schools, speed up the internet, because apparently whatever companies they were using wasn't really working out, and then they came with that system where they will install these Wi-Fi units within schools, and then use that to work, but so it's not really effective, you would say.
Yeah, it's not.
Wow. So working in the informal settlement, and you're getting this this reaction from the community, which is a positive one. So where do you see yourselves moving from that location where you are now? What will you say is your next step?
Our next step is to go to other areas around Cape Town, not just in Guguletu and Samora Marshall, but then we need volunteers for that, because we just the three of us, like the co-founders that we're running now. And so we want to expand to other areas in Cape Town, And then we also want to target other provinces like your Eastern Cape that does not have these resources. So next year we're planning to go to the Eastern Cape and do some coding introductions to the communities in the Eastern Cape.
Wow, because I mean, this is the future now. You know, the future is computer. The future is technology. And if you guys have started to plant the seed at this time already, you know, within the few years, it's just you're going to reap benefits. You're definitely going to reap benefits. Okay, so we're going to take another short break. I like where this is heading. And for those that's watching at home, I'm sure you guys appreciate as well where this conversation is heading to. So if, once again, this organization is happening anywhere around you, your family, or anybody you must know, please do ask them to tap into this conversation and also be part of it. So we're going to take a short break, guys. When we come back, we'll continue with our conversation. So don't go anywhere. Hey guys, welcome to it. It's a feel-good show here on Cape Town TV. You're watching Open Studio, and joining me in studio today is Lihle. She's from an amazing organization called Babesgotbytes. All right, she's very, very good in coding, and she's starting an organization which is called Babesgotbytes. They're currently working within organizations. So if you just tuned in, or if you were with us during the beginning of the show, you will notice that we spoke a little about her past and her interest, and also what inspired the idea of starting Babesgotbytes, and also in which areas of the country that they are working in, or of the city, so to speak. So, Lihle, just to continue our conversation, coding is what we're talking about here today. You spoke about where you are working within the communities right now, and also why you were doing what you were doing. You know, so we will tap into that a little bit more later. But just to continue our conversation, you mentioned why coding is so important, especially for the future, so to speak. So what would you say is the career opportunities available out there for those that want to tap into coding?
Oh my God, there's so many careers available in coding. You can be a web developer, create websites. You can be a software developer where you create apps, application. You can be data science. You can do machine learning. You can do artificial intelligence. You can cybersecurity. There's so many. Like, there are too many to count.
And you
those are the careers with that.
Is that in a nutshell, basically the few that we can think about. So you mentioned that your interest at first was to do hacking.
Hacking.
Okay, so just to tap into your interest, you know, what really inspired you to want to go into hacking? Because many people out there, when they think hacking, it's always like the negative, you know. Are they going to tap into my bank account? Going to tap into my private security? So what did you want to do with that knowledge?
For me, privacy and security is very important. I feel like a lot of, you know, I see a lot of websites, you know, when a website is not as secure, you can see that at the top of the website, that it writes insecure at the top of the website. And I feel like a lot of developers don't consider security, because when you enter your details on a not secure website, that means that anyone can actually access your details. So for me, privacy and security is very important. So that's why I want to get into hacking, so that I can be able to protect myself, and I can be able to protect the other people.
Because like you mentioned, privacy and security, which other companies are doing right now. You know, like we mentioned earlier on, where they tap into, or the hire, or maybe a freelancer, where they try and hack into their security system and see how resistant it is to the best of brains out there to think. So just for those that's watching at home, you know, I'm sure there must be somebody out there that has taken an interest into Babesgotbytes, or somebody that knows of somebody that wants to do coding and are staying in the area where you're working in. So how do they get hold of you? How do they become a volunteer? Or how can they become part of the project?
Okay. So they can how they can become a volunteer. So they can send us an email on babesgotbytes@gmail.com, and then we can send them the volunteer forms. So because the volunteer forms are not available on the website yet, but they can send us an email, then we can send them the volunteer forms. And then anyone can come to our coding classes. We don't have anyone can come. Anyone is free to come as long as you're female. Yeah.
So how do they get, besides the volunteers, so for those that want to become participants, do they go via the same channel also of the email? Or is there another
If they
way?
want to come to the organization, yeah, they can, yeah.
Also via email?
Yeah, via email.
Okay, wow.
On social media.
Yeah.
On Facebook, it's Babesgotbytes, and on Twitter, it's @babes_got.
So it's Facebook and Twitter. So
yeah, Facebook and Twitter. And LinkedIn, Babesgotbytes on LinkedIn.
Yeah, LinkedIn is one of the most important applications we're working on right now. So you guys are on LinkedIn as well, levels. So I'll say you guys did your own website as well?
Yeah, we did our own website.
We must become friends. I've been looking for someone to do my website for so long. But yeah, I really appreciate the time that we had to speak here on set. And I'm sure for those that's watching at home really had the moment, to interact and be part with us. So thank you so much for joining us today, because unfortunately we've come to the end of the show. But it does not end here. Obviously, like you mentioned, there are social media platforms, and there is a website, babesgotbyte@gmail.com, if I'm not mistaken.
The website.
Oh, babesgotbyte.co.za. So go check out the website, guys, if you want to be part of this amazing movement. So for now, guys, I say thank you to you, Lihle, for coming through to the show. Thank you, guys, for tuning in. Remember, you can always catch us on our social media platforms as well. On Facebook, we are Open Studio on Cape Town TV, and also our website is www.capetowntv.org. So that's it for now, guys. My name is Danny Kambato. Next time, bye-bye.